Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Today I want to talk about what would happen in society, and I'm referring to a worst case situation, a collapse of everything that we know. What would happen to the ladder of society, as in we look at people, maybe a lawyer or a doctor up here, maybe a mechanic here, a garbage collector here. What would happen? There's some people that have great jobs now. Let's just say attorneys. Attorneys are well paid. They went to school for a long time. And they're well paid, and they're up here in society now. In a WROL situation, where would they fall? What would happen to them? How about the guy that is the crazy gal that lives back in the woods that deals with herbal medicine? You know, now we look at her and say, man, she's a kook, she's a nut, she's back there in the woods and she deals with herbs and alternative medicine. So we might look at those people down here right now. But in a worst case situation, that person might be very high on the list. Now doctors, they probably won't really change in the level. They're important now, and they'd be definitely important. They might get paid differently. Instead of getting paid in cash, they might get an object. They might get eggs, chickens, a cord of firewood delivered to their house. But they'll still be very important. So, right now in society, you're up here, you have a great job, you're making a lot of money. Think of a job that people would need in a WROL situation. Put things back to do that. Maybe take on a hobby. Maybe you're a computer programmer, and in a worst case situation you won't be programming computers, so think of something you could do. Maybe you can get into repairing something electronics, be it a CB radio, ham radio, maybe making some type of detecting device, tripwire device for alarms. Just think of something you could still use your skill, but be able to trade or sell, barter to someone because they want that object you're making. What about people in society that have a little power now? Let's say our county sheriff, deputies. What would happen in a worst case situation when there is no checks and balances? Maybe that sheriff of your county will say, hey, no law and order, I'm going to be the law and order, and I'm taking total control over my county. He could do that. He has backing him up a bunch of deputies. He has a very well-trained force. They're organized. They have rank structure, command and control structure, so that they could actually go from serving and protecting us to, they might want to be serving and protecting, but because of the harsh environment, they might be very oppressive to us. They might think they're doing the right thing. They might say, hey, we're going to have to suspend the Constitution in my small county because I have to maintain law and order. That worries me. How about military guys? Guys that right now are getting out of the infantry, getting out of special forces. They have a skill set, but it's really not in high demand unless you go work for one of the many contractors out there. What would they do? Would they decide, hey man, I've been down here, I want to be up here. Guess what? I got the skill set. I know people, I can train people. Maybe I'll just decide to take over part of this county or this area. It could happen. It happens all throughout the world. When there's a power vacuum, someone's going to step forward. Now hopefully someone that steps forward is going to be an honest, a caring, and doing it for the ability or the best for the community, to stabilize the community. But there will be people out there that will not. They will be little dictators, and they will grab power. They will do things to benefit them and their group of people they're supporting. People will follow them. People will go to them. If people have no food, no job, no security, it'd be very easy to get 50 guys and feed them, take care of their families, train them, equip them, and guess what? You have a small army right there. And they're going to follow you because you're taking care of them, you're supporting their family, and you're giving them stability. I worry about that situation. I know a lot of guys that are very capable of doing that. They're trained, they know how to train people, that's what they've done. They could easily make small armies out there in a WROL situation. Now, small armies might be necessary to bring stability to your community. A community-wide approach, a militia, to protect your resources. There's going to be resources in your community that you will want to protect. You will not want to share them. If you have farms in your area, vegetable farms, cattle farms, those resources you will have to protect. Hopefully the sheriff or the person that has decided he wants to take control of this area doesn't come and confiscate them or force you as the farmer to pay his tax or his protection, and he takes products and food from you. A lot of things happen in an environment. If you look overseas, if you've ever been there, when society falls or there is a vacuum of power, there's been a lot of countries that have a vacuum of power, especially when the United States moves in. It's very hard for a time to worry about taking care of whoever you're trying to kick out, and also immediately fill that vacuum that's created because you've just taken that guy out. I saw it in Iraq, other countries. People take advantage of it. I've personally seen, let's say right now you've done a business dealing with a neighbor, a friend, someone you've done a dealing with, and you've had a bad taste in your mouth. You feel they've wronged you, and you've had some words. I guarantee you, in a ROL situation, people are going to want payback. They will. So there's going to be a lot of turmoil just because of that. Because if there is no law and order, and someone feels they've been wrong, they're going to take advantage of the situation, and that causes a lot of problems. A lot of problems that are necessary. So, in society, are we going to have a reshuffling of the ladder? The guys that know how to fix small engines, the guys that know how to work all day, the guys that can just rig something out of nothing, will they move up on the ladder? Will certain people move down on the ladder? How about pharmacists? If they're not having the medication brought to them so they can dispense it, will they have a job? I mean, maybe they can use some of their skills to get into the herbal medicine. People that work with computers, people that build cars. If we have a total collapse in a ROL situation, where are they going to stack up in this ladder? So if you're up here, figure out something you can do that are going to be necessary. If you're already down here and I know a guy that owns a nice wood miser sawmill. Maybe he should stock extra blades, fuel, oil for it. So after the collapse happens and there needs to be some rebuilding, he's going to be in high demand. Because if there's no infrastructure and transportation to bring 2x4s, plywood to an area, but he can take a raw tree, cut it down, turn it into lumber, he is going to be needed. It's going to be a very important piece of equipment that can help rebuild a community. So think about it. Am I here? Am I here? Am I here? And if we reshuffle the ladder, can I still try to work my way up to be needed, to be appreciated? Think about that. Thanks for watching.